In a very peculiar move, Collider has made an article, or written an article, posted an article, whatever you want to call it, about James Gunn's Superman movie and how it was a triumph. Over here, like I said, Collider. Now, I want to say something real quick. I wanted to talk about this. This is why I'm doing a quick video on here. It was just a couple days ago, and I'm going to pull it up here. They did this whole piece on the Snyder Cut and the 242-minute DC spectacle that changed Hollywood dominates streaming. They just posted this a couple days ago. I made a video about it. You can go check out that video where I discuss just the ridiculousness of this. But oddly, 2 days later, they post James Gunn's heroic $618 million triumph is proving its staying power across the world. To me, it seems like they're trying to play both sides here, of course. Some people may say, oh, well, this is just them being good at what they do. You know, they're a good outlet because they're getting both sides of it. The thing is, neither article really says anything about anything. And that's why I think this is just ridiculous. I talked about it the other day when I talked about the Snyder Cut here. More than half the article is just about talking about Zack Snyder and where he came from. And then it talks about how he did Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and then talks about how the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, changed the world apparently. And you get a little bitty article or paragraph on that. It's very similar to what they do and say and handle the Superman movie here. You know, here, I will go through it. It says the MCU might be set to have a huge year in 2026, but 2025 was far from a success. Although they earned critical success and won over fans, both the Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Thunderbolts were eventual box office disappointments, and less said about the Anthony Mackie-led Captain America Brave New World, the better. With that in mind, the door was open for a certain DC favorite to swoop in and become the year's biggest superhero success. Now, we've talked about this ad nauseum here on this channel, about how Superman was an unmitigated success, yet people want to sit there and say otherwise. But let's face it, it was a triumph. I agree with what Collider's saying here. I just don't agree with how they're going about doing it. Now, it talks about who, starring David Cornsweet. It was an undeniable hit with both audiences and critics. Yes, it was an undeniable hit. The critics and audience scores across all metrics, whether it's Rotten Tomatoes or Cinema Score or IMDb, whatever it is, you go and look at them, the scores are incredible. People loved this movie. The consensus on the site reads, pulling off the heroic feat of fleshing out a dynamic new world while putting its champions' big, beating heart front and center. This Superman flies high as a Man of Tomorrow grounded in the here and now. So, there you go. It talks about, very briefly, very quickly, how Superman 2025 was a triumph. And indeed it was. It was absolutely a triumph. Ahead of Craig Gillespie's next big DCU superhero adventure, Supergirl, which follows Millie Alcock's Kara Zor-El, in an adaptation of Woman of Tomorrow, Superman has continued to prove a success on the global stage. At the time of writing, the movie is one of the 10 most streamed on HBO Max worldwide. At 9th on the list, Superman is battling competition from the likes of Megan 2.0, the feature directorial debut of Anna Kendrick in Woman of the Hour, and much more. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be upfront with you. The fact that it's battling competitions for Megan 2.0 is not encouraging. I know the first Megan movie was huge. This sequel was atrocious by all accounts. Hell, even my kids who loved the first one, my older kids who loved the first one, they couldn't. They just couldn't get into the second one. Anna Kendrick, okay, yeah, is she a big household name? Is she a big star? Not really, no. So the fact that she has a directorial debut movie isn't all that like, ooh, we gotta go watch it. So, I get it. Superman is having success on streaming, on HBO Max. Just like I said the other day about Zack Snyder's Justice League, we're in a lull right now when it comes to superhero films. So, yeah, of course, movies, the older superhero films and stuff like that, they're going to get watched more often. The newer ones that just came out this year will also get watched more and more often because they're still fresh and new. It is encouraging, though, to see that Superman is having this success, that it is able to continue this success. I love it. Now, it does say Superman was a huge box office hit. Not just a smash hit with critics and audiences, but Superman bettered the best of the MCU's 2025 run and won at the box office as well. Against a reported production budget of $225 million, that still isn't verified 100%, but regardless, if it is what it is what it is. Superman returned an impressive global haul of $618 million. Very impressive for 2025. That's another thing that people just don't get. In 2025, things are very, very, very different than what they were in 2013 and 2016 and 2017 and 2019 and 2020 even. Things are very, very different. So $618 million for a brand new universe starting off. But Slav, it's Superman. Everybody knows Superman. Yeah, why didn't Man of Steel make over $700 million in 2013 then, if everybody knows Superman? Look, that's the point that I'm trying to get across to you, is that even in 2013, at the beginning of the height of the superhero genre for films, actually was a few years into the height, Superman, Man of Steel only could make so much money. Now we're at this low point of the genre, and Superman 2025 made $618 million, which was damn respectable and a success. The movie finished this year at the 10th highest grossing worldwide and set the stage for a blockbuster July 2027 release of Man of Tomorrow. Okay, so I'm excited about Man of Tomorrow. I know you're excited about Man of Tomorrow, and don't get me wrong. Look, I know that we want to be excited about all this other stuff, but this is great to hear and see. But I am going to say this, look, real quick. It's obvious what Collider's trying to do here. They're trying to play both sides. They want to make sure that people, hey, you get the Snyder fans excited about what you're writing, and then you get the non-Snyder fans excited for what you're writing. Personally, I'm seeing through the bullshit. I like that they're sitting here calling Superman a success because it was a success. I'm glad that they're pointing that out. I also am okay with them pointing out that, yes, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a massive success as well, but I sit here and say, guys, it's time to move on. Talk about this DCU. You don't need to talk about the old stuff. Just talk about this DCU and move forward. But that's just me. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comments below. So, of course, let me know your thoughts. I wanted to get this out there before I got to bed tonight, so I saw this. I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. So I wanted to get it done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. And with all that said, I'll catch you all later.